What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Justin, aka No Good Comics, and this is another evening of Omni X-Men where we're breaking down issue 145. Some more of the new adventure that I have not read yet up until now. So really excited for this. And of course, I have my co-host with me, my man John from John's Comics with Kids, who's currently hashtag still backstage, but I'll bring him in right now. What's up, John?
At some point, I'll make it into this club. It's banging in here as always.
Yeah, you live there.
Doom.
Yes, classic cover, right?
I mean, I'm gonna throw some shocking twists to it that I know Magic Lasso is ready for in the chat. So we'll talk.
All right. Shocking is good. Shocking is good. And of course, we have to have our guest with us here tonight, which he is someone who's very familiar with the X-Men and the mutants, and he's been a part of this show several times already. So happy to have back our good friend Eric, aka Azor's Tiger. What's up, Eric?
What's up? What's happening, everybody?
Hell yeah, man. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for the invite.
Absolutely. Always. Nice set of books there, both of you guys. Very nice. I
had to come prepared, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if I own this modern variants for tonight. I'm not playing his game. I can't win at that game
with that GSX. Wait, what grade is that? I gotta. Oh, okay, 4.0. Very nice.
Who signed it?
I couldn't see the glare there. Yeah, who's the signature?
Check that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, in the glare it looks like a 7 or a 9, huh?
It's tough.
Who signed it?
Claremont.
Nice.
Very nice. Well, good stuff. And yeah, man. So anybody here watching right now, I see we got a few people in the chat. Appreciate everybody. Make sure that if you're not already subbed up to these two, man, I always get that wrong. If you're not subbed up to these two, make sure you do so. I put their information in the description below. And of course, as always, we go back and forth, John and I, for this particular show. So if you're looking forward to catching the next episode as well, you're going to have to sub up to him for that. So yeah, let's say a quick hello to the chat here, and then we'll get into talking a little bit about this new to me issue 145. We have Ruben Guzman in the chat first and foremost. White Tiger, Cool Calm Collected saying Cowabunga. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. We also have Cookie, just a little podcast, hanging out in the chat as well. Hello. We have our good friend Ryan that we were just talking about. Magic Lasso says hi there. No Good Comics and John, Eric, Rachel Dinners, Diana Ross. The list goes on and on. He says so. So this guy who fought Dr. Doom once lost his entire left side. Don't worry about him though. He's all right. Doom.
I prefer later when he says he says that Justin he says I got no banana Wolverines, I got no giant size X-Men one. I'm just looking at you, No Good Comics.
Oh, nice. I'll love you, Ryan. Let's see, we got Jamie in the house as well. J Hood Creative. Hashtag Cosby cover.
So he's spoiled it already. That I've referred to in the past that this cover is the Cosby cover. You have Doom holding up a glass of some liquid, and he has clearly drugged Storm.
That's
a
goblet.
I have referred to it as such before, and it's infamous because when Bear Island was on Comic Gories, he brought this cover and was talking about it, and I called it the Cosby cover, and then he lost that round, and he has never forgiven me since.
Oh, jeez.
So, apologies to Bear Island Comics.
Hysterical. Let's see. We got my man Jackson Roy Kirk in the house with us. Singing about the imposter, but the joke proves he's legit. There you go.
Well, because Lasso looks like he's got a new icon for his channel there.
Oh yes, I didn't get a good look at that earlier, but looks good from here. I'll have to open it up in another window later. Very nice, Ryan. Let's see. Yeah, can't wait. Yeah, talking about the licensing. Oh, I was wondering what that was about when I saw that earlier. Eric in the chat as well. Double duty. I love it. And of course, we got our good friend Chet Knight. No yellow label. Did I read that right? No SIGs, no encapsulation. Wow.
I mean, once Byrne left, he really fell off the wagon. That Chet Scotland, I'll tell you.
Wow. Man, I'm just so used to. Yeah, I don't know. Wow. All right, Chet. Well, good to see you. I suppose. No, I'm just kidding.
What's going on, Daryl?
Hey, we got my man Daryl in the house as well. Good to see you, brother. Yes, showing off the artillery is right.
Is that these?
The guns.
Nobody bought tickets though.
Oh, this is the other one.
That's the banana Wolverine, and so it looks like
nice.
it looks like Diana, but I can't tell if is she flying the invisible jet or riding a motorcycle? I can't tell what she's doing in the icon.
Yeah, I can't.
What's up, Kenneth?
Yes, sir. Kenneth Bird in the house. Hello. All right, gang. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Again, reminder to stick around because we do have some Q&A for you afterwards based on last week's show /episode or /issue. So, try to get some answers correct there. We're looking for the most funniest answers. We're looking for the correct answers, top 2 correct answers, and one funniest will get you a ticket into the raffle to win a few of our giveaways that we have coming up later this year. One being a drawing from our good friend Nicholas Lane from Instagram. And then also we'll have a couple mystery boxes that John's putting together as well, and a few other friends that have also submitted some stuff. So hang out with us for that as well. So we're talking about 145 here. Yeah, let's get some general thoughts here. And John, I'll start with you. What did you think about this issue, and how would you grade this thing?
I will say these 3 issues. So it's a 3-issue story arc involving Doom, Arcade, and our heroes. And I will say each issue is slightly better than the preceding one for me. Like it steadily gets to the action and climax, which is the best stuff. I will say any book with Doom and Storm sitting down and sharing words is going to rank high for me. If you guys haven't been reading Sword, the series during Hickman's run, they even sort of recreate these moments where Storm and Doom sit down, because Doom is like, oh, wait, you're in charge of our entire solar system now,
right?
Nobody tells Doom what to do, so he actually busts in on Storm saying that she is the boss of our galaxy, and actually sits down and has words with her, and it reminds me of this issue a ton. In that way. However, way exposition heavy, this book. Definitely some really odd choices in this book, and I can't wait to see what Justin's got for us in the slideshow. So that held it back for me. I would say this issue might be a 7.58 for me. And then but sequentially the next issue gets a little better, and then my favorite is the third final issue.
Okay. All right. That's good to know as well that you liked them more and more as we went on. So very cool. Eric, I'll pass it to you. What were your initial thoughts, and how would you grade this?
Well, so what John was saying, Sword was actually my favorite series within this new X-Men run. I was taken by surprise because I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it ended up being. And still on board with it to what it's getting ready to turn into. I think it was X-Men Red. I think that's going to be the follow-up.
Yeah, they're basically bringing the X-Men Red title back, which was hugely popular. I guess I've not read those 11 issues, I think it was. But I think the idea of the Red Planet Mars, they're going to bring that in and call it X-Men Red.
X-Men Red, yeah. So with this, because we brought in Dr. Doom, and this was their first time interacting or facing Dr. Doom, that was big on my list. Because Doom is such a huge character in the Marvel Universe, and then this was, they were trying to find out what they could about Dr. Doom, behind the scenes. And, I thought that was cool because you had Beast around this time he was on the Avengers. He wasn't with the X-Men around this run, but they were able to reach out to him and, hey, what's going on? What do you know about this Doom guy? I thought that was pretty cool. Using all the resources, because now the universe is expanded. So I give it an 8.5 because I like the interaction, and then Professor X going out more, because you don't have your original team anymore, but he's able to reach out and pull people from different places. So I thought it was cool because it combined a lot of different books into one.
Sure.
Yep. No, that's great. I think that's fair.
Pocan Joe, what's up, Joe?
Hello, sir. Thanks for stopping by. I think you make some great points there. And I need to catch up on my Sword reading apparently, because I've only read a couple, and all I hear is great things. So
basically, for those that read Planet Size X-Men, the one shot, It's the continuation of that in a lot of ways. So I feel like it all kind of bleeds together. That's the Storm, Abigail Brand, Cable, even the Cable 12-issue miniseries kind of bleeds all into that.
I think Abigail Brand makes it though. She makes that.
I think it's the first time he interacts with the new team. I'm not sure if he had ever interacted with the older team. That would be a Chet Scotland question. We'll see what he says.
Yeah, I would have assumed.
He might have interacted in. I don't remember if he's done anything with the original team.
But you know what? Professor X acted like he didn't really know about him.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe very little. Yeah.
Weird though. What did they? If they went 140 issues and never had him interact with the X-Men?
Yeah.
But remember back then, Magneto was quote unquote their Dr. Doom type of character. Right?
And Doom was with the Fantastic Four so much. It was rare for him to leave their title.
Right.
Right.
No, Chet says this is his very first time interacting with them.
Boom. There you go. Well, I mean, I think that I think I'm right in the middle of the both of you with kind of this grading this thing. I think I had put it kind of at a 7.5. Probably a bit lower. I still really enjoyed it. There is definitely a lot of dialogue in this. There's a lot of setup, which I get. I didn't realize that when we were going into this. I didn't realize that there was going to be a part 2 or part 3. Or I didn't even realize there was a part 3 till you said that just now, John. So I'm excited for seeing how this issue ended. Definitely excited to see where this goes, and even more excited knowing that there's 3 arcs to this, which is really cool. Right. Still really enjoyed the artwork for a lot of this. There were definitely some questionable things I think that had stood out to me, and
I'm so excited for this.
And normally, you know me, guys, like I usually don't pick out a lot of these things, but there were definitely some things that made me like kind of pump the brakes and why is this, or we'll definitely get into.
Am I like having an effect on you? Am I rubbing
maybe
off on you a little
hanging
bit?
Out? Yeah, hanging out.
Because that's usually my shtick. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll definitely chime in. There's some things I had questions. So, but I'm looking forward to jumping into this. And so let me bring up the slides here. And we'll talk a little bit about the cover here. So, John, I'll send this back to you. Anything I know we talked a little bit of it already, but what are your thoughts of this cover?
So when I first bought this to complete my Claremont run about a year and a half ago, I posted it and I was like, firstly, I loved Doom. I'm a huge fan of the character. I cannot possibly ever afford his first appearance or his first, origin, or all of the key Doom books are ridiculously expensive. But anytime I can find a fun Doom cover, yeah. And so I had waited a long time to find this until I found a really nice raw copy that I got. And I posted it and I was super excited. And then somebody said, it was right when Cosby was going to trial. And they're like, oh, it's the Cosby cover. And I was like, God dang it. They ruined what is a great cover because the pose is great. The characters on the ground, great. Is Storm laid back. This is a phenomenal piece of art. Like this cover classic. It's better than both of the next 2 covers combined. That's where this series of 3 issues kind of fails. Is this issue highlights Doom. The other 2 are like, who's better than Doom is Arcade. And nobody thinks this. Nobody thinks this except the person doing the covers of the next 2 issues. You got to put Doom on the cover, man. Come on. So I love this cover. But now that I know that it's the Cosby cover, it does reduce the joy a little bit, but it does upgrade the laughter a little bit too.
There you go. And Eric, what about you? What are your thoughts here on this cover?
Oh, this classic cover. Anytime I see this cover, you just have to grab it. Actually, John Comics with Kids. I actually picked this up over at with Kenny over at Nuclear.
Nice.
So yeah, he had a new collection in at one point in time, and I just had to grab it, right? But yeah, this cover always stands out. You have the iconic scene, but when you see all the X-Men look like they've been defeated, that's always a book where you want to pick it up, like with the newer ones with Moira, walking around and all the X-Men are on the ground like that. That's always a book that you want to find out more. It's like, oh, what's going on with this story? What's going on with this, this background? Now, was this Byrne on the cover?
No, I think it was Cockrum.
It's Cockrum? Okay.
But how could you pass this up? Like if it's sitting on the shelf and you walked by and saw that.
Right.
Yep.
That's the, I can't imagine a better I gotta pick this up X-Men cover than that.
Yep.
And look at it. He's just using Colossus like a
stepping stool or something.
A Captain Morgan's.
He's got a little captain in him. Yeah. He's got a little captain in him.
There you go. The captain cover. I like that too.
It's better. Yeah. At least you'll get a little more.
So I think that you guys are spot on with this. It definitely is a cover that I feel like I recognize from across the store if you see it. It has like darker borders too, or darker borders and darker spine too. So I feel like if you can find a nicer copy of this cover, then definitely keep an eye out for that. You mentioned John Byrne before, so I think and correct me if I'm wrong, but John Byrne he doesn't do any more work on the X-Men, right? Like at all since 143, right? I don't think he's returned at all since then, for not even for like covers or anything.
So
now technically he's done like Alpha Flight and other things like that, but not the actual the X-Men title. Right. Definitely great stuff. I think you guys covered this spot on. So let's jump into the interior splash pages and a bit of this story. So we get the beginning here of just a casual night out. There's an event going on, and Storm was invited to kind of take the place of Kitty Pryde to go with Kitty Pryde's dance teacher, Stevie. So they're at this recital. Stevie's kind of expressing like her passion for this and how she misses it, because I know she was injured, right? I think she explains that she was injured or whatever, so she couldn't continue this.
Well, they say that she was
during the Christmas issue.
Kitty Pryde is ill, but I'm talking about Stevie.
Oh, Stevie, got it.
Stevie could no longer, she could no longer like participate in like
her teacher.
She's like reminiscing, seeing the stuff on stage and like wishing that she could perform or whatever. What are your guys' thoughts on this like initial like splash page? You got all these different floating heads here, which definitely is a theme to this book to a degree. So Eric, I'll pass it to you first. What are your thoughts here on the opening pages?
Well, kidnapped, it stands out. You got the purple border, and am I wrong? But isn't that Dr. Doom right there in the green cloak, or no?
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, that's that's He's like off on the side of them.
So I can't tell if that's him or if that's the girl, because she's in green too.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was Doom. Yeah.
So in the beginning, I thought it was Doom too, but no, you're right, John. That is the girl. So I thought that was cool because it kind of threw you like, wow, we're getting Dr. Doom on the first page.
Yeah.
But then you got to remember, like, Dr. Doom's a bigger character than that,
Right.
So
they wouldn't just throw him out there. Yeah.
Exactly. So that was the girl that works for Arcade. I can't remember her name right now. We got an event going on, and then you got the floating head, so you're able to see that we're gonna have more characters involved. Like Iceman's coming back, and Havoc and Polaris, to join the new team. So I thought that was cool. It's giving you that big intro on the very first page.
Yeah. Her name is Miss Locke. There you go. Thank you, Roy
Miss
Kirk.
Locke.
Miss Locke. Yeah. Great points too. Like my mind was definitely at first thinking that it was Dr. Doom as well. So we essentially, as they're at this performance, Miss Locke here sneaks up behind them, and there's a lot of touching and passing poison along to others that happens in these next couple of pages. So one other thing too, like you said there, Eric, with the floating heads, like it is cool to have this hint that like everybody's involved in this issue. That's cool, without even really realizing that, other than whatever we saw on the cover. But I don't remember seeing a lot of the older team members. So we get this whole kind of debacle going on. Basically, Miss Locke poisons the two by this type of poison that is passed along through touch. So they have this quick little battle here for like a second, and I love that that Storm ends up like making the room like frozen, and it actually, the bottom line there, or the bottom panel, you just see the other couple next door, and they're like, is it cold in here? Like, and they just start freezing up.
I love how they complain about how the summer shows were like they couldn't get the air conditioning to work for that.
And she has a fur on, by the way.
Yeah. Right? Oh yeah. So then basically Storm, you can see on the right, she starts to realize that she's been duped and that she's not feeling right. She starts to feel a little woozy and fall over. And then of course, let me jump here. We get this reveal as she explains everything that's kind of going on here with
monologues.
The monologue,
the villain monologue
continues. Yeah,
let me tell you my evil plan.
Yeah. And it's basically, she explains like that's basically what the poison was for, like not necessarily to kill them, but just to kind of like have them listen, which is kind of crazy to me, because it's like this is like one of the things I want to point out is like you would think that Storm being part of the good guys and just like overall like protector of the world and people, that if there was really genuinely something like that Miss Locke could just show up and just speak the truth, right, and just be like, hey, like a human's in danger. Yes, it's a guy that you're probably after as a wanted list or whatever, but can you help me? Because it probably would still, I mean, nowadays if you went, you asked for help or whatever, and you went to military, police or whatever, like they would just want everybody safe or whatever. So like that to me was like a little over the top to have to like poison them or whatever just to get them not to move. But anyways, we find out that this whole story or monologue is that she's going to blackmail them. She's going to blackmail the X-Men, and she wants them to work with her to help get back what's the guy's name? Joker.
Arcade. Captured by Doom.
But
now she's captured people so that they can capture people and uncapture people who've been captured by people.
Yeah, I have
it's not complicated at all.
I have to go against what you said on this one though, Justin. Because if you think about it, once she told them that she wanted them to either get Arcade or she was working for Arcade, they wouldn't have. Storm wouldn't have heard anything she was trying to say. Storm probably would have been trying to take her out and find out what's going on.
But I feel like they would have at least listened to her even after the fact, even if they arrested her or whatever. Like they still be like, "Why are you here?" And then she'd be able to like still say the things she wanted to say.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah, like just to communicate it. You know what I mean?
I got two comments on this whole sequence here. Number one is number one is their plan hinged on them showing up here and being kidnapped. But Kitty Pryde just fell ill and happened to not show up.
That's
so
true.
like their whole plan hinged on this happening, but Kitty Pryde fell sick. Like the odds of Stevie being there were 0 until Kitty Pryde fell sick. So they really hinged their plan on something kind of random.
Maybe Locke slipped some flu illness to her.
Right. My other comment is probably what Chet is frantically typing right now, which is that these comics were written for kids.
Yeah,
and kids didn't care. Kids didn't care. Like the more outlandish the James Bond plot was, the more they were like, "This is crazy. I'm totally all in on this. This is bonkers." It's Arcade. It's not Banshee. Come on. So for me, no slang, no garbage slang. It was just touch poison, which I've never heard of either. And how did that not affect the lady who was touching them? I didn't see her wearing a glove.
Right, that's true.
Yeah, I've got it on my hand, but it doesn't really hurt me. It's for you. But again, it's for kids. It's really just for like the ridiculousness of my boss was captured by this other bad guy. I want you to break in and kidnap them because I kidnapped your friends, and you got to do it for me. Like, go.
Right.
And now we got.
Hadn't they faced Arcade a few times before this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that was a mess too. Essentially. So definitely a lot of strange things. And then of course on the right we get, Storm kind of dozing off for a bit, and then by the time she kind of snaps out of it, I like her little pose there that she's got going on. But now now
functional.
So now, right. Yeah, like it just wore off.
The cape was a dress. She doubled the cape as a dress.
Yeah, that was the best part. Dude. That was the best part of these opening pages for me was her transformation, and she's just like, "No, I'm geared to go." Like it's way better than Cyclops running. And
I was gonna say
going to the boat where he's got his whole costume like in a duffel that he's like, "I bring this everywhere I go."
Yeah.
Storm is like, "I wear my gear, brother." Woo! Happening.
Yes, Chad. There you go. Yes, X-Men 123 and 124. That's right. All right, so then moving on. So she's going to kind of investigate. She wants to make sure that Miss Locke didn't just make this up, or that these these individuals are not actually kidnapped. So she's kind of doing her homework there. So she sees Amanda is kidnapped. That's that's Nightcrawler's girl. And then Jean Grey's parents were also listed in that. And who is it? Am I missing one more?
No, it was just those two.
There's Amanda. Okay. Oh, and then she takes Stevie. That was the other thing. So she actually took Stevie with her as well, Locke. So that's why Storm was by herself there at the end. So Stevie was also involved in this kidnapping. So she goes to like the house. So this was another thing with the whole floating heads thing. You see down at the bottom right, Jean Grey, the globe thing. Like, do you guys know more about that? Like, was that just
at the end of her funeral, the funeral episode with the like, her parents got this item.
Yeah,
I don't remember the detail. Yeah,
from the Shi'ar. Okay.
From the Shi'ar.
It was in that one with like, the like issue after her death or whatever.
Okay,
the one when Cyclops leaves.
I think Melandra gave it to her, right? And it had like her essence in it or something like that. Yeah, it's not just a regular snow globe. We can buy,
right down at the
mall, dude.
And I don't know what happened.
Right.
I don't know if she just gets really mad. Stop shaking.
Yeah, look, because the facial expressions change.
Oh yeah, she's smiling, and then
so that's really her.
It's like one of those Harry Potter cards
and let her out. You know?
Yes, yeah, Harry Potter.
Like a Harry Potter. It's like a Harry Potter portrait. Like it just kind of moves around and judges you.
Oh gosh. Any other thoughts here as we're kind of going through this? She's, like I said, kind of recapping.
I do feel like a leader like Storm would have made a phone call. Just be like, you know what, flying from place to place, I can make a couple quick calls, like to Professor X. Hey, this just happened. My friend got kidnapped. Hey, can you check in? Who can we send? Like, I don't know that she needed to personally fly to all these places. I'm not complaining about seeing more pages of Storm like bending over and breaking into things. Like, I'm fine with all of it. But conceptually, there's an element here where I'm like, a couple of calls probably would have worked. I know she says at one point, I tried calling, but nobody answered.
Right.
Is it call Xavier? Because clearly his mental telepathy, as we see in this episode,
he could have just checked.
This issue, he stretches the globe.
Right. Yeah, no, I should have put like a phone thing in there, because there's multiple times where I've questioned that in this issue of saying like, why was a phone not used more?
And she mentions calling, but getting no answer. So she did call them.
She did try.
She had access to the phone, but chose not to call Xavier.
Yeah, I do like that they do express like, or show a little bit more of her powers, Storm, where her picking up speed to be able to get up north a little bit faster, just to give you an idea of like, oh wow, like if she did need to travel somewhere at a decent speed, a decent distance, she could pull it off. So I do like that they define
later. The lightning bolt later is a cool addition to her power, where she just all of a sudden is like Shazam! That was a cool.
I did like the fact that they did show she checked to make sure that they weren't making something up.
Right. Could have been a lie. Yeah.
Right. Like let's say she did call and didn't get an answer. What if they're actually tied up there?
Right. So. True. Not really her essence, just kind of a Menta. Okay. Daryl's talking about. Hey, we got J2 in the house. What's going on? Jay Ramirez hanging out with us. Good to see him, man. So let's see. Keep this going. I forgot I have to jump back to this one. We get back to.
So just so you know, it actually says, but also the essence of her personality.
Oh, there you go.
Is what Storm says to herself when she's looking at it.
That's why the facial expressions were able to change.
It's not only contains a three-dimensional image of Jean Phoenix, but also the essence of her personality. It's really vague on what that means, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the Shi'ar can do. I do know that she reappears later at the bottom of the ocean, and Reed Richards finds her. So,
see, there you go. Fapton America in the house. What's going on, man? Yes, essence. That's right. So we get back to the mansion, and they decide that they need to. After Storm has kind of reported this, tells the team what's going on, that they're being blackmailed. She goes to Professor X. Professor X says, "Let's call Hank. He has more information, especially working with the Avengers at this time, right? He's been a team member of the Avengers now for a while. So it's cool to kind of get a little bit of an angle of him again, bringing in mutants. Interestingly enough, though, like Hank offers and says, like, hey, like let me talk to the Avengers about this. Let's like work together as a team here and figure this out. And Professor X just wants to keep it in house. He doesn't want the help, which I thought was interesting. If it were that important. So I don't
need your metal frisbee.
It's
really what he's saying.
That's what he's saying. Yeah,
I don't need that giant metal frisbee.
And then as they're talking, like I really like, because like at this point, Professor X is just like, all right, we're being blackmailed, so we got to go with it. We got to just go there. And then I like that Wolverine steps up and is like, and usually it's Wolverine saying something outlandish,
right? Wolverine's just like,
but he has sense here, and he's just like, no, we can't just like fold to every single time we get blackmailed or whatever, and let's not only just stop this, but let's put a stopping to it to where nobody's ever going to want to blackmail us again, which is really the aggressive. That's where I just pictured the scene being that scene from Anchorman, where he's just like loud noise, and they're all just yelling at the one, the main
exclamation marks.
Yeah, he's like, we can't do this, like loud noises,
So to that point, what I thought was hilarious about it is Wolverine has one note to play, and it's an amazing note. I'm not criticizing the note, but the note is always, we got to kill these guys. Like if you go back to his plans in all the previous story arcs, whenever there's a problem, he's always like, no, we kill these guys. The funny thing about what Justin's saying is all the previous times he's done this, everybody's been like, dude, like, you're crazy. Like, this is a bad decision. This is the first time where the reader is like, Wolverine's right. We got to kill these guys. Like, this is the first time where it's like, I like this guy's thinking. Like, I am with this guy.
Even Storm was on board.
Right? Everybody's like, yeah, these guys need to die. Like, let's kill these guys. They took our friends. Let's kill these guys. So that's what's funny, I think, about this moment is it's like, Wolverine has played the same note every time. It's just been horribly out of tune until now. He hits the note and everybody's like, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Like, he's a solid musician.
Let's do this. Eric, what are your thoughts on these couple scenes here?
Well, I was actually trying to figure out where Colossus got the X-Men sweater from. I was going to order one for Christmas. So then I'd be ready for that.
I love it. Look at the flex on him too. He's like, "Yeah, sweater."
You're right, man. I need one of those.
The Morbius shop. Morbius got this
that's
online.
Funny. But and then the styles back then too. Wolverine was like, "Frick," I'm wearing the shirt open. What? I'm going to the bar later.
No buttons. No buttons.
Yeah, some ladies.
Wolverine is kind of like that. All issue long. I'm just gonna say, buckle up. If that's bothering you, buckle up.
But like I said earlier, I really enjoyed the fact that now Beast is a representation of the X-Men with the Avengers, so they have access to extra assistance if they want it, right? Yeah. But Professor X is like, no, we can handle this on our own. We need to show everyone who we are, and I think that's I think he wanted to either prove a point or, not just reach out for help. He wants to show everyone that the X-Men can handle things just like they can, because the Fantastic Four was, the team, the first family. And then the Avengers are, the original team. So now it's time to step up and show and prove.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. I guess my point or my angle at it is, if it, again, depending how important it is to someone, like if people's lives are actually on the line, then like it's like, when do you put your ego aside and say, okay, like we just need to work together and just like get it done, or whatever the case is. But yeah, I mean, I do think, like you're saying, Eric, there's a bit of that. Hey, we got this. Let us prove our own can do it. In that sense. So I definitely get that.
And I always really liked Beast as my favorite of the original X team. Like I do like Cyclops. I'm not hating on Cyclops. You know how I feel about Angel and Iceman. But something about Beast being both an Avenger and an X-Men consistently, not just like every so often like Wolverine would be or whatever. I do feel like he was always a really interesting character. And even though he appears constantly just on a monitor, like in the background in these kinds of issues, I always really liked that both teams could respect what he would add to the mix. So that always made me like Hank a lot as a character, and this moment is one of those kind of things.
Yeah, yep. Also to add here, towards the end, as you guys mentioned, like Storm basically not only agrees with Wolverine, but then also like what I like is that Storm, being the leader that she is, like she's like, I actually have a plan. So they're like, okay, like let's hear this plan. So while Wolverine is still like, let's just go slash and kill, like at least Storm's like still very level headed and like, all right, let's Wolverine's right, but I think that there's a way to go about this. So I like that there's a balance of that in there.
It's not about we can't kill guys. It's about how do we kill guys?
Right. How are we going to go about this? Exactly. So jumping in, now we change scenes completely, right? And we get to go see where who we haven't seen in a while, Alex Summers, Lorna Dane, who again we saw their little heads at the beginning of this, so we kind of had a hint of them being here. But so they're out. Where are they? Mexico? Did it say? It's or there's somewhere out in the Rio Diablo. American Southwest. Okay.
There you go.
So they're kind of doing their own thing, which they've addressed before, right? That they didn't really want to be part of this superhero team, per se, but they're just kind of trying to live their own life, which I like that you're seeing a little glimpse of this, and they are using their powers to kind of help with living that life of whatever it is that they're trying to do out here. But ultimately they get interrupted by a floating head. And they get the astral part of the astral plane of Professor X here to reach out to them, and he basically requests to them, and they even say that where they're just like, "Hey, Professor X, like we said this before, we really don't want any part of this. Sorry." And he's like, "Yeah, I wish I could accept that, but no, like you're coming here. Like we need you."
I just love that like he jumps in with this giant floating head, and their first reaction is like, "Holy crap! Like what's this guy?" Even the writer is like, how would they react? They've been on their own for like potentially a year or more, like just kind of like on their own.
Yeah,
they've been doing the science thing, living their life in isolation, and the giant floating bald guy appears, and the reaction is phenomenal. I love the like, holy cow.
Yep.
And I love their response. Like, we're not interested in this, but of course, once an X-Men, always an X-Men, right? You can't say no when the chips are down. And I like their response. I think Havoc and Polaris are always really underappreciated X characters. And I really think that they bring a ton to the show whenever they come in. So this just highlights that.
Yeah.
Totally.
So I did look up Rio Diablo is in Panama.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there is a Rio Diablo in Panama. So I don't know if this is the same thing, but I thought that would be cool, if they use a real place.
Totally. Yep.
And then, Havoc is a ladies' man, because I know you all saw that last panel down there in the corner.
Yes, I want to talk about that panel.
Some time to kill.
We have
my gosh. This panel is hilarious. And it's an example of just like how bonkers this issue is sometimes, where it's like, okay, I need you now. Get to the mansion immediately. And then the next panel is like, hey, we're in a musical. Let's walk and dance and just be happy together. It's sunset.
Well, I definitely did a double take with that, because even afterwards you go to the next page and it's like, oh wait, that's the end of that scene. Like
exactly, it's the end.
Yeah.
That panel
I clipped it just in case you didn't have it.
You did,
dude. It is laugh worthy. It's so funny. Just the pose and the lighting. It looks like they're walking into a musical or something. It's hilarious.
They're on a date.
You can see the music change, right?
Right?
Yeah. Brilliant writing. Yes.
So good. Green hair, don't care. I love
it. Yeah. These panels do look cool. I do like the coloring on all this. So, and then the other one. So basically, this is like we're getting into this like scene of like Professor X reaching out to everybody. I know, Eric, you mentioned it in the beginning, and he's using his powers to really extend across the globe for a lot of these. So we move on to some of these other ones, and I just thought these were really interesting. Without Cerebro. Yep.
Yeah.
I thought these were really interesting scenes, or at least this one with Iceman. Like, what was I like?
I was checking out the features in the room. Like the things.
Sorry, I was reading the chat.
Yeah.
So good. So good.
Yeah, do you remember that? You guys remember that from Scary Movie? That scene?
I do.
On the bottom
line, say this is another laugh-worthy moment. Like just folks, for perspective here.
Yeah.
Bobby is an Omega level mutant. This is the high. He is the peak of cold, I guess. He's the peak of cool. And what's he doing? He's just chilling and cooling his drink. And that is legitimate. And he looks like he's been doing it for the better part of a decade. Yeah. The guy hasn't shaved this week. He's probably not wearing pants. We can't see it, but he's probably not wearing pants.
He's focused on that turn paper.
He's just like I don't know that I need anything. I'm an Omega level mutant. And Professor X calls him. He's like, heck yeah, I'm in. I don't do anything these days, Doc. Like, come on. So this was laughable to me as well. That it's like he's just cooling his beverage. That's where Omega level mutants spend their free time. Kenneth, I'm sorry you're at PT, my man.
Yeah, I was just
wish you the best.
Yep.
And I'm sorry you're dealing with that because that sucks. But PT is one of the things that is very painful but hugely important. And shout out to physical therapists because I know that gig, and that's not an easy gig, and they're hugely important. So listen to what they say, keep it up, and we're here for you, man.
Definitely. Yep, good call there. So. And then on the other side here on the right, we get Banshee, who we haven't seen in a while either, right? And he's
this is great. Dude.
This one, I love that he actually shows his full, astral body here at this point, sitting right next to him, and they're just like,
which proves he could have done it for anybody,
right?
He chose to be a floating head for all the previous people instead of just like walking up calmly to Havoc and being like, hey, I need your help for this thing. He's like, giant floating head.
Yeah.
And then he's on an airplane with Banshee, and he's like, I'm casually sitting next to you on this plane. Let me talk to you for a quick second. And Banshee, who's like super chill about it, it's like, oh yeah, let's have a conversation because I'm not doing anything.
Yep.
But he chose to be a scary floating head and just jump right into Havoc's face and Bobby's face.
Yep.
That's what this moment proves to me. He made that choice.
Maybe Professor X saw the opportunity that the passenger got up to use the restroom. So he's like, ooh, like, let me, I can have a seat here. I can actually like sit down here.
Oh, I need those panels. I need the panels of the guy getting up to use the bathroom. And Xavier appearing. I need those panels.
Would have been great.
So then maybe everyone else can see him too then.
So that I did wonder that.
Because Polaris and Havoc were in the middle of nowhere.
Right, and Bobby was by himself too.
So he's on the plane.
Yeah, does anybody else?
So now he looks like somebody just in the seat, unless someone was really paying attention. Like,
they put the little dots.
What the hell?
Yeah, they put the little dots around Banshee's words when he's talking, which imply whispering to me, which means it implies that maybe nobody else can see him. So he's talking to nobody, because I think if he just magically appeared to everybody on the plane, that would probably panic.
That's true.
True. If that's the case, then I wish that they would have shown like some sort of scene after of like the people behind them being like, you hear that guy talking to himself?
Right. God, the Irish guy is crazy.
Yeah. What did he have to drink? I want what he's having.
I'll take two of what he's having.
Shout out to Jackson Roy Kirk, who's like referencing a great sci-fi show, Quantum Leap, where Scott Bakula would always be talking to his partner Al, who was a hologram that only he could see and hear. And people would constantly be telling him, like, oh, are you crazy? Who are you talking to right now? Absolutely correct.
And then this one ended up taking more out of him, or was it because he's already projected to everyone else, and now he's projecting the Banshee, and just overall it took everything out of him?
Yeah.
See, folks, this is why we have people like Eric on the show. The guy knows his X-books, man. Mm-hmm. He's amazing. If you're not following Azores, there's the links all down below. You need to be hooking it up.
So the one thing, again, going back to the phone thing, I do think that he could have maybe first tried to call somebody like Bobby, especially if he knew Bobby was at this room specifically.
I mean, Bobby is not doing anything.
Right. Like, what's Bobby up to right now? Like, I can
right by the phone. He's right there.
He had he finished his Star Wars comic books down there.
Oh yeah. Oh, he did. That's right. One's Star Wars, another one says Kiss.
Right.
So good. I think it's hilarious too. Banshee's the only guy you didn't need to call. He's already on the way.
Right.
He's on the plane to you because he's like, my lady got
his turtleneck on. He's ready.
He's like
classic turtleneck.
He's like, why are you here right now? I'm already in a plane. You should be able to psychically know this. I'm coming to you.
Yep. The turtleneck, man, it almost reminds me. I realize it's not exactly the turtleneck they all wore when they were on the ship that one time, the green sweaters or whatever. That made me think of that.
That's so good.
We got to get those green sweaters
but it's like wonderfully Irish. Obviously it's very Irish. The color scheme there.
Yeah.
It matches his uniform.
Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, moving on here. So yeah, we get back. We see that Professor X is a little out of it. He's used a lot of his energy at this point. So he can't. He wants to reach out to Scott. Meanwhile, we have a flash forward to where Scott is right now and what's going on with him. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, John, but with everything that we're seeing here, this is just a separate incident, right?
Yes.
Okay, right. So, and I thought they kind of explained it, but I wasn't sure if I was reading that right. Separate from what we had read in 144. Yes, a lot of that had to do with Scott.
In between 144, where they ride off in the air in the fan boat away from the Man-Thing drama,
right? Something
happens, and now Cyclops ends up on this island with the girl,
washed up. Right.
Yeah, we don't know what took place in between.
Yeah.
Which took me a second to be like, wait, do I need to flip back to how the last issue ended?
That's what I did. I went back to look and I'm like, oh no, all that ended was they took off. Actually, they took off and they even said that they went to a hospital. He brought Lee to the hospital. The hospital checked her in, said that she was fine. Like they had all this in a little caption. Yeah. So this is a complete different incident altogether. Like they parked that vehicle and everything, and now it's just a different ship. Now, one thing I wanted to point out here. Well, first I'll explain. So yes, he gets washed up on shore. Lee is, at first nowhere to be found, and he realizes that he doesn't have his visor on him anymore. So he has to figure out, like, you can even see he opens his eyes for a second. He shoots the ground. Yeah, like shoots the ground. And now he legit's like, oh man, I have to do something to cover this up. So he's like, what does Matt Murdock do? I'll just do what Matt Murdock does. So he puts on the scarf, wraps his head in it, and then Lee comes running by. She's very concerned. She's like, hey, let me help you. I'm a doctor. I can help with this stuff. And he's like, no. He's like, just leave me be here, and he ends up wanting to kind of try to move on without that. The one thing I want to point out with all this whole scene is he keeps calling her Al. Now I know it's short for Alistis, or I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, Alistis. But in the previous issue, they referred to her as Lee the whole time. So I thought that was interesting that there was a kind of a switch there, or swap. Another random thing to point out, well, two random things to point out. One, with this scene, I was noted that they actually spelled her name wrong a few times in this particular scene.
It's an unusual name.
It's an unusual name for sure.
But they should know how to spell it.
It's supposed to be YS, and it was IS in some of this dialogue. And they actually spelled Havoc's name wrong. I meant to point that out previously in some of the earlier pages, only in a couple panels, but they spell Havoc with a C in some of the panels, and then K later on.
Up on that. Wow. I mean, this is Marvel. This is the company that spelled Elektra's name wrong on the cover of her first appearance. So, I mean, in that way, it's just keeping with the skills across the board.
Can I just say with that Elektra thing that the very first time I ever saw that, and like brand new to comics, I remember seeing that and just being like, oh, that's a key issue. Oh, that's Elektra. Okay. And I'm like, oh, Elektra, let me look up more Elektra. I look up more. I'm like, why does her name keep changing to this spelling? But the way it's spelled is here. And I'm like, there's no way they'd mess that up, right? There would be no way they would.
That was apparently going to have to go through editorial.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. As a new reader and a new comic collector, I'm like, where am I wrong? Because that's not. Right. It's got to be they wouldn't mess it up.
They're like, forget it. Get it to print. We got deadlines.
Right. But sir, the spelling. Forget the spelling.
Print.
You want to lose your job, soldier?
Right. I even noticed some missing words on the very first page. In some of the word bubbles. So I think they were just trying to get this one out. There was a lot of dialogue.
Let's be honest. When you switch artists, that has a huge impact on the production of a comic. Yep. And losing somebody like John Byrne meant they were scrambling to try to fill issues and get things done. So I'm sure there was a lot of crunch time between the exit of somebody like John Byrne and these issues that we're seeing now. So I mean, I'm not surprised, but that does leave damage to the story.
Yeah.
Right above that little podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, it is one of my favorite Cosby covers. It's a classic Cosby cover. Ryan of Magic Lasso said I needed to read what Professor Xavier is thinking in that giant picture of his head. He says, there's been a subtle shift in the Earth's magnetic field, creating an interference, psychic, static, that inhabits my telepathic communication over long distances, forcing me to make a supreme effort to transmit the simplest of messages. This can only be work of one of the X-Men's arch enemies, Magneto. But why has he done this, and why now? And that's it. But
that was great. That was great job.
He wanted he was like the Supremes. Is this a reference to the Supremes? There you go, Ryan. That was
well done. Well done. We need to have a segment of that every episode.
John reads.
Yes. Yep. So some sort of mention there. Eric, any other thoughts on kind of some of this scene here that we see Scott here washed up?
I think Scott had a special name for her because he knew her a little better than everyone else. So that might have been the switch up in names for our little lady friend, right?
Well, I think he was the one that was calling her Lee. He was the one that was first calling her Lee, and then now he's calling her Al. So that's where that was where I got confused with it. It was specifically him.
Scott can't keep up with.
But maybe that's true, man. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
LL Cool Scott. I love the panel in the bottom middle where it looks like his hand is right on her chest and her face is shocked. But it's you got to look closely to see that his hand's not actually touching her. Yep. But if you see it, like his hand is like right there on her boobs, and she's going.
That's a great catch.
If you took the word bubbles out, you could add there's a ton of dialogue that could go in there.
Oh man, that's dangerous. Yep.
Yeah.
That I have to post that one later.
I'm saying what goes here? You hear the bubbles. What happens here?
A little double take. All right, so now we get the team back here. Kind of a lot of different things going on here, but ultimately the plan is that they want to split the team into two teams, right? One that's gonna try to, Storm has this idea. She wants to go into the castle. She wants to talk to Doom and distract Doom and his people, while the rest of the team are there to try to find Arcade. And then on the other side of things, as Wolverine had originally pointed out, they want to send a team to go after Murder World and try to find their friends there. So that's like the grand scheme of where this whole thing is going, right? And then of course we have that small scene there in the bottom middle there, where we just confirm that Kitty is sick. Storm just checks in with her before they leave. And then on the right, that's where we get the castle here. It's nice looking castle. It looks like the one in Vegas, the casino Excalibur. In Vegas. Excalibur, yeah, it looks a little bit like that. kind of toyish, kind of toyish. And then so out of nowhere, as this is where you're talking about, where she just
Shazam! This is legit. This is a Shazam moment. Yeah, a light, like everybody's like going about their business, and then lightning, and then she's there.
Yeah,
this is one of the best. This is a legit Thor entrance right here. Like she is showing up in a big way, and I
another Omega level mutant.
Oh, I love this entrance. It is perfection.
Yeah, forget that Banff nonsense,
No sneaky brimstone here.
Yeah, no, it's straight to the
That'll come later.
That's right. That will come later. And so, I like that we get this nice panel here with Storm as she arrives. All these soldiers here line up and they're like, "Oh, get her," and then you hear a voice, over the top, basically, confirming. In a boot, saying that no one, Vincenzo, I decide who shall or shall not be removed from my residence.
And then I want to see this next page.
And then we get the man here, Doom, and that's
Captain Morgan.
Okay, so everybody if you have this book open, if you have this book around you, look at Doom right here. Not only is the guy have a little captain in him, just like we saw earlier, but look real closely. He is like flaying his legs open extra, and then his toe is on point. He's like up on toe. He's just like he is doing an absolute flex of crotch for Storm right here. He's like, Hello. Welcome to Latveria. Although this is not Latveria. He's not in his home country right now. He's being exiled because of this kind of thing. Something about this pose is, firstly, just phenomenal. I absolutely I'm there for it. But second, I'm just like, wow, how is this not a full page? I need more of that.
Yeah, I didn't notice the heel up. That's really
the heel.
I didn't notice
so good.
No, that's hilarious.
He's on toe. He's on point. That's so good.
So yeah, we get the reveal with Doom. The I am Doom. It's really cool. You're right. It would be cool to have it as should have taken up a page.
Come on. They teased his reveal so long. I wanted a full page.
Yeah. No, it's a missed opportunity there. And then meanwhile, we get Angel, who's doing something here. John Angel steps up to the plate.
What's Angel doing this week?
He's flying some team members around. He's dropping Nightcrawler off so that he can catch up and jump from the other side of the castle, which was cool because he brings him up. He bamfs out, and Angel's like, oh, all this is coughing. And he's like, man, this bamfing stuff is terrible. And then he shows up, takes these guards out, which was cool. Very undercover.
Shout out to Nightcrawler, Nightcrawler actually carrying his weight.
Yes.
Versus Angel carrying other people's weight.
Quite literal. And then of course he brings Wolverine as well. So Wolverine catches up and the rest of the team. So it's Nightcrawler, Wolverine, Colossus, and Angel up top. Mm-hmm. And that's where we see that picture at the bottom there. And I had put this guy because he's basically we're trying to figure out how to get into this doorway.
Oh yeah, Colossus.
I love Colossus just throwing his weight through that thing. So
I got this.
But the whole thing is hey guys, we gotta sneak in.
Yeah.
We're gonna be really quiet. Angel's gonna drop this in. Nightcrawler's gonna bamf. He's gonna knock out the guards. We're gonna sneak in. There's a locked door. How do we sneak in? Bust this shit open.
Right. Yeah, let's go.
Kazam. He's
just powering. Might have ruined the whole point of our sneaking in here is smashing the door down.
Yeah, that's funny.
I mean, question.
Just a little.
Question.
Another thing I liked about this issue is they gave you a lot of other issues to read about certain situations. Like if you weren't familiar with what was going on, or let's just say you picked up this issue and hadn't read any of the past issues, I thought that was cool because then you would go pick up another X-Men issue and it would be a new more introduction to the story arc. So I used to like how they did that before they started doing all the mixing all the different books together, whether it was Avengers and the events, when the crossovers and things. So I thought that was cool back in the day because it would make you go pick up those other issues.
Well, I think it was Jackson Roy Kirk earlier who said this book is amazing because it references every other Marvel comic book ever written.
A lot of them. Yeah,
they're tagging everything.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
I mean, that's happened before where it's gotten me to go back and read something like when I was reading the Doctor Strange 16 when we were doing the Dante's Inferno issue. It also got me to read Hulk Annual 7. Oh wait, no, I didn't read that yet. But I'll get there, chat, one day.
Now he's just bragging about not reading it. So, you sent him the issue. I would have loved a really nice copy of that comic. I had to go out.
He handed it to me.
I had to go out and read that on my own. I had to digitally read it, but I did it because I respected you.
And moving on here. So I didn't know if you guys knew this, but we get Rom in this. I thought this was pretty wild.
I mean, who knew?
I had no idea.
Who knew?
So this was a Rom appearance. That's on the CGC slabs. Rom appears.
Rom wearing dominatrix gear.
Yes,
he got some upgrades
with his family.
Yeah, but I do love that the color scheme is identical. So shout out to Justin for commenting.
That's hilarious.
So accurate. Sorry, chat. Sorry. So we get these guards that come in and they're just regular guards, yet they have these suits on that apparently can withstand all these different things because they were built to go against the Fantastic Four initially. So that was interesting as well.
But shout out to I think is it Wolverine, who says, "We hate the FF bub."
Yeah.
He's like, those pansies?
Yeah.
Right.
Please bring it.
Pretty much.
Shout out to Logan, who's
now,
like not intimidated by that.
Now he does get burnt up, right? Though, like he's
immediately.
I am
immediately
happy to talk about this.
Wait, do I not? Oh, I do have the panel. Oh, so it's in the middle. He's small there, but
They
in
burn
the
the
middle.
whole suit.
Bottom center.
Yeah.
It honestly, it begs the question that I would have asked all the way through this issue. Is Wolverine naked? Like, I feel like it needs to be asked repeatedly all the way through this comic. Is Wolverine naked? Because, folks, I feel like the artists can't even decide. And if you read the next issue in the series, he is back in this complete uniform, no damage to it at all.
Oh, no.
But in this issue, we are constantly having to ask,
oh, no.
Wolverine naked?
Yeah.
So there he is, bottom center there. It looks like he's lost his clothes. It looks like they've been absolutely destroyed.
They zapped it into a swimsuit.
Yeah.
Wait till we get the next panel, though.
He's back. He's back in the Savage Lands. He's back in the Savage
Lands. Right. He's back in the Savage Lands. That's funny.
Oh my gosh.
Because then you get over to that one on the far top corner, and they are perfectly using the bright yellow flashlights to cover the fact that is Wolverine naked?
Yep.
I don't know. What's up, John Stout, man? Good to see you.
Hey, Mr. Stout. Thanks for stopping in, man. So all right, with all this going on, let's switch over to the date scene here that we have going on.
Yes.
And how much Storm or how much Dr. Doom here.
This is what I'm here for.
It's like really
Dr. Doom was putting the moves on her, man.
I mean, right?
Storm
I can't tell.
She was.
So I gotta ask Eric. I want to ask Eric. Eric, I want to know the answer to this question. Who do you think is more enamored with who in this scene?
Storm is more enamored with Dr. Doom.
Do you think?
Yeah, because she's saying how charming, what's the words exactly?
She says, I'm actually enjoying this.
Captivating.
Regretting that
he's a captivating man.
Occupied while my fellow X-Men find a free arcade. They should have reached his cell by now. Doom is a fascinating man.
Yeah, fascinating. So, hey, Dr. Doom is worldly. He's traveled. He's well read. Look at the layout on the table.
He's royalty.
That's a feast.
Yep. Baller.
He's like, I'm a king to her queen. I have her in my palm. Like he already knows. He can see
Jackson Roy Kirk disagrees.
Right in that bottom corner.
I'm curious, Justin, who is more enamored with whom?
I'm going to go with Eric here. And one big part of it was for me when Doom talks about her fear or lack of, and how he's like, I will make her fear me though. Like he still seemed a bit more in control in that sense. Right. Like he's still, his ego was very much in the forefront of things. But yeah, it's close. I mean, it's definitely
a fantastic scene, right?
Totally,
because the power balance is elusive.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah, king and queen type vibes for sure.
And then remember, this isn't the Storm who we're reading about now, running Mars and kicking butt, it's like on the in the different competitions and stuff.
Right.
This is in the beginning stages.
True.
Right.
Very true.
I found this whole sequence very interesting, and both of them are trying to con the other one, right? She's trying to distract him so her team has success. He's trying to distract her so that he can capture her team and then run his scheme. But they are both also doubting their plans in the moment, which is all of that is captured in basically 4 panels.
And I'm just noticing he has TV screens on his side of the table.
That's where I put the go on. I'm listening. That's why I put that go on. I'm listening, because for him, I was thinking in his mind, he's like still watching these TVs to see what's going on in the battle. So
it's absolutely a guy, right?
Yeah,
he's got both sporting games on. while he's talking to his wife at dinner, he's like, okay, but the Niners are down.
Yes.
I got to keep focused on that.
The Niners are down.
But at the same time, I'm why, sweetie, tell me how was your day?
Go on.
I just noticed Nightcrawler on the right side. Wow.
Yeah, man.
That's hilarious.
So I
just think it's interesting, and I would love to hear anybody else in the chat who you think is more enamored with who. So thank you, Jackson Roy Kirk. He says it's Doom.
Yeah.
So he disagrees with the two of you guys.
Yeah.
And I don't know where I fall on this. I do feel like he seems a little bit more in control, but at the same time, it's impressive that in just 4 panels, he's already like, what does he say? Extraordinary storm seems drawn to me as I am to her, lioness to lion, queen to king. Like he's just
he's taken away by her too. Yeah.
Well, when you read it like that,
that's true. Yeah.
You got me sold, John. You got me sold. To read it like that.
I think he's not just. She had no fear. Like she just came in.
Right.
She like, sure, let's go eat. I'm like, yo, let's go. Yeah. But I need a dinner table.
But
like
he's
that.
not just like snapping the trap on her. He could have run this trap at any point, but he is so wrapped up in her. He's pushing pause. He's pushing pause on the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
I think this is my favorite part of the entire issue is 2 A-level characters at odds with each other, and it's fascinating to me. It's a game of chess.
Yeah, Justin, this is a dinner table during the playoffs, dude.
Yeah, that's me. That's a Sunday. That's a Sunday for me, man.
I mean, this coming Sunday, right?
Yes, that'll be me.
That's so good. That's so good.
Oh gosh. All right, let's keep this going here. So we get some more action scenes. We get some more naked Wolverine going on. As you can see, he is constantly just barely covered up. Even that middle panel where Angel's wings are just barely covering, the back end.
Are you asking the question, is Wolverine naked?
Yes, we must ask the artist here.
I mean, it's so good. There's so many. For me, it's the top middle panel where he's like bursting out of the fire. You can see his thigh, you can see his back, and it's like, dude has no clothes on.
Yeah,
and nobody on the team is like phased by this. It's almost like they've practiced this in the danger room. They're just like, he's naked again.
He's a Wolverine, man. He's got to let loose, So I love these fight scenes here, especially when these robots think that they have Nightcrawler, and Nightcrawler bamps out of there, and they shoot each other. Like, that's awesome. I thought that was so cool. I'm like, I want to see more of that. Like, that was some really cool. Even just the way this is all laid out. It's like thin clips. On each side. So really cool on the left. And then there's so there were 4 robots or guards, I guess, that are dressed in these ROMs, we'll call them. So there's 1 ROM left basically. And so it's him there on the right side as they count them, 1 to go. And then, I love that this scene here at the bottom, as Doom is thinking, you can see the shadow of somebody sneaking into the background, because they find out that, the person they're looking for is not there. That's been a big highlight, big question there. So, who is this guy in the shadow here? As we want to see who's revealed, and of course, we get the man, Arcade, who we really weren't sure, that's the reveal. And Storm is shocked, when this is up, because like this whole time, which no one really considered, right? No one really considered the idea that, like, could this all be a trap? Could this all be? Could Doom really be willing to work with someone like Arcade?
Why, though? You know what fooled them?
What
she was waiting for and did not hear flying.
That's right. She missed the flying.
He's like, I know it's an Arcade scheme when I hear Slang. If I don't hear Slang, it's not him. That's how Spider-Man knew.
I remember that issue.
That's valid. And so I had to grab Mr. Bean here, because I just picture him walking up with this little suit and just like, well, hello, Storm.
Let's be honest, Arcade is about as cool as Mr. Bean. Arcade is easily one of the most uncool characters ever, but that's part of the charm. I'm just going to say that's the gimmick.
Yeah.
Did either of you watch the MODOK series on Hulu?
No,
I did not.
Okay, so I make it a point any Marvel series, just to give it a
Right.
chance, right?
Yeah. I think I watched the first one and I laughed. It was good.
Right, because it was like a Robot Chicken, Adult Swim. It was like that type of
oh wow, okay,
setup. Yeah,
that's cool.
And
it's all done by Patton Oswalt, the comedian. He's the voice of MODOK, and he writes the whole show.
Oh wow, okay, I didn't realize that.
So it
was for Hulu. Yeah,
it's for Hulu. So the thing is, which is so funny to me, is so not what you expect.
No,
but because we're so familiar with so many books and some of the old series and everything, you recognize things with it. It's a lot of Easter eggs in the series, and there's a lot of characters you're not expecting to see. And Arcade makes an appearance, and it cracks me up because just like how you are talking, like this is how Arcade would act. That's how they have him on the MODOK series.
Oh, nice.
He's got to be awkward, spoiled. He's basically the epitome of awkward, spoiled white privilege. Like that is Arcade as a character.
Yep. We haven't seen him recently, right? They haven't used him.
No, he was in
like Hickman.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Shoot. And he's in an upcoming storyline too. I think they've hinted at him.
Was it Marauders?
No, it wasn't Marauders. It was it Hellions? It was Hellions.
It's Hellions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was in the Hellions.
Hellions. That's right.
He was in the Hellions.
Oh, nice.
Hellions was actually good to me too.
Yeah,
because I didn't expect Hellions to keep but it did.
The benefit of
things.
Hellions was not only the funniest X title in Hickman's era, but it ended. If you read that last Hellions issue and don't get choked up a little bit, then I don't know what's wrong. You're broken. Like the whole saga of the team of. I mean, ultimately, Hellions is the island of misfit toys, right? That nobody likes these characters. It's the Havocs of the X universe where they're underappreciated, underwanted, and when it gets to the end and the emotional sort of trauma that they've all gone through because of Mr. Sinister, it's a great series. I recommend it.
Really,
and again, I don't think you need to read the other X titles to read Hellions and really can get a lot out of it.
That's true.
Right. Cool.
I wanted to mention the last page answered the question, is Wolverine naked? Yes. Yes.
I still think it's like a loincloth.
Naked.
Like the Savage Land style, like
Justin mentioned, just a little bit of Angel's wing blocking his butt.
Yeah,
you see from head to mid knee, hair and skin.
Yeah, he's got nothing.
All of it. No clothes. Zero. Just
savage.
He's very hairy, though. He's very hairy.
Right.
So
however, on this page that we're on now, I think is it the next one? You actually see they gave him freaking pants. Unacceptable. Bottom panel. Down there at the bottom panel.
You're right.
They gave him pants that he didn't have 2 pages ago.
You're right.
When are we going to talk about Wolverine naked? Right now, Ryan. I'm here for you, man.
Yeah, man.
They gave him pants. I don't know if he killed somebody like he's done in the past and put their pants on, which we know he's capable of doing. Right?
Yep.
Fang.
Yeah.
Let's not forget Fang.
That's right, Fang.
I think it's possible he's found somebody's pants in the between panels here.
That's crazy, John. I'm looking at the panel. You're right.
He went from no pants to pants.
That's crazy.
And for those of you that love continuity in comics, the next issue he is in his entire full wardrobe. And it is unacceptable. I agree, Chuck. It is unacceptable.
My kids are reading this.
Right?
Does he wear drawers there too?
He doesn't need to. He's so hairy.
Yeah.
It's like a giant sweater.
God.
He doesn't need to.
The crazy part about it, though, this scene previously.
Yep. Yeah. Right.
That's why it's like the Savage Land, right?
Right. You're right. Yeah, there should be nothing. There should just be the cloth. He's just need a cloth or two,
He's
but
like
not.
Kazar.
But he's got pants. He's definitely got a set of pants on of some sort.
That's hilarious.
So we get here now. I really like this top panel here as the scene breaks out. Storm and Doom go at it now at this point. Really cool. And what I like what Doom says here, and I can't read it as fancy as John, but he said, Doom says, "You are an enchanting child, my dear, but that is all you and your fellow X-Men are, children." Yeah, I thought that was so good. So good. Classic really, right. Like that really gave me the perspective of just how much he who he is and how he views others,
Yeah.
So that was cool. And then he hits her with this what is it that he throws at her, like this ball or some sort? It's a globe. She says it's a globe. It's tracking her, hits her in the arm. Her arm goes numb, and then she turns like Elsa here and just becomes frozen, basically as a chrome now. Yeah,
chromed out.
Yeah, which I thought was a really cool panel too, like seeing Storm frozen like that, and like the red around her, the yellows and stuff like that. I thought that was a really cool panel.
Yeah.
And then moments later, as it says, the other four, burst through the door here. But he takes care of them too, right? Or he takes care. Yeah, he grabs Colossus by the face. I'm just like, man, like his power that he has here for all this was just like crazy. And that's where you see him. He's like smoking on the ground after, like he's fallen and there's like steam coming from him or whatever that is.
No idea.
Yeah.
Whatever you think you're gonna do, Doom is ready for it.
Yep. Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
And I do think what is fun in this story arc, these 3 issues, is Storm's little journey that she goes on. And being frozen like this plays huge into the next couple issues, which the 3rd issue has this amazing Storm cover. But like that journey of her characters, I don't know, growth as a hero, growth as a leader, whatever you want to call it. It's a big part of it is this setup.
Yep. Yeah. Any other thoughts here, Eric, with kind of how we wind this issue down?
Well, classic Dr. Doom. They introduced him to the X-Men fans, so if they weren't familiar, they still make him stand out as one of those supreme villains. One of those major villains. Doesn't matter what team he's facing, who he's up against, and that's why Dr. Doom is a lot of people's favorite character. It's a lot of gray area with him once you learn that he's a king, almost like is it name? Do you all say Namor or Namor?
Namor. I say Namor. Yeah.
So it's like almost like Namor. He's a king, so he's not looking at things the same way that our normal characters are.
Right.
Back to the writing with the new series and stuff, how they showed when they created Krakoa. Namor is like, let me know when you're finally accomplished something. Like, this is nothing to me, and that's the same kind of, I don't want to say arrogance, but maybe gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? They have that belief in themselves because
it's
they
ego.
It's ego, yeah. But I was thinking more of like gosh, it's gonna come to me later. But they're kings. So they were brought up differently. So they've had to run countries. They've had to do things. Confidence. Yes, thank you. They've had to do things that make sacrifices that other people aren't prepared to make in certain situations.
Sure.
And to some people you look like a villain. To some people you look like a hero. Because the people that are on their land, they've done that for them to their, to their vision, from their view.
Yeah. Right. No, you make correct.
So I mean, I always love when Dr. Doom comes around because it's a lot of gray area. He can be an antagonist, he can be a protagonist. And we still get that to this day.
Totally. If you guys read the Fantastic Four and X-Men miniseries that Zdarsky did, it played on a lot of this because Doom had a huge part as like the balance between the two sides in the middle, because he was not playing a villain, he was just playing the middle ground.
Right. Even the Dark Ages series.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
So I always like it when we get Dr. Doom, because you never know what to expect, and I'm looking forward to how Feige has him portrayed in the MCU. I
really want to know who they cast for that.
So different.
It's a huge part. Like, who can do it?
Yeah, and then you can tell that they're building it up.
Oh yeah,
you can tell that they're building it up.
I need to read up more on my Doom for sure. I'm lacking there.
But you got me reading more digital now, Justin. Unlimited and the Comixology.
Oh,
so
nice.
I'm catching up on a lot of events. Yep. And I'm starting to connect the dots, which I'll be, bringing to light later.
Cool. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, no, you have so many books at your fingertips now. It's cool that you can catch the events. They put them in order for you too, like the actual events if you want to.
Yes.
So
yes, and that's how I've been doing. And it started with you all's first conception of this show, because remember I couldn't get the Omni because they were sold out.
Oh yeah,
you were like check out the Unlimited, and that's when I signed up, and here we are. So I've always been able to keep up with you guys too, which I like.
That's awesome. That is cool.
That's cool.
Plus, John and I get a commission from Marvel since we got you signed up for that. So.
Hey, I need a plug.
Kickback.
Bringing in all the money, all the dough now. We are the Dr. Dooms now.
Welcome to Latveria.
Hey, I want to highlight here. I saw Jeff in the chat.
This is such a good comment.
Yeah, it says, "Why is it when you all describe the book in your Omni X-Men reviews, it's not even close to how I remember these stories when I was reading them as a kid? Quick changing Wolverine? Yeah, no, man, you're right." You're right. And this is what we said in the beginning. It's for kids,
It's called wisdom.
Yeah.
The wisdom of ages makes me look. That's part of the fun of this, I think, is obviously we have the nostalgia for some of us of reading these as kids, like I do. Like I have that nostalgia of I read this as a kid and was just like, this is cool. Doom and Storm and fighting and the robots and the Wolverine with the claws. Yeah. As an adult, I can read it and go, is he wearing pants? I feel like there's two layers to this, and anything you read it as an adult, and you can get a new perspective. So I think it's part of the fun for me. Is I have an endless love for this series and for what Claremont did and what obviously Cockrum, Byrne, and on. But I can also look at it from an adult perspective and say that's pretty silly. And have fun with it's comic books. It should be fun.
Books.
You're still enjoying it. Yeah, you're still enjoying the entertainment.
I think we pay way more attention to detail now.
Totally. And that's the fun part of zooming in on all these little panels and looking at things and really getting into it is
that's another part about the digital experience.
That's right.
I was checking out the posters
for sure
in Bobby's room, along with the space, what is it? Star Wars and Kiss.
Yeah, when you pointed that out, that was a good eye. Yep,
totally.
Yeah, he had some bikini posters on the wall and stuff too. With the ladies on them.
Right.
Yep. Jeff says, "Is it just me, or when I see the picture of Cyclops below this slide, I start hearing the Titanic song? Just me?"
I mean, no, that's not just you. No, right down there when he's being held by Angel at the bottom, the bottom center, Justin, on your background.
On my
he's being carried away by Angel.
Yeah.
It's very Titanic.
Yeah. All right. So this last, so that's the issue there. We get into one other thing I wanted to bring up that John, you had brought up to me as well. And Eric, I don't know if you had a chance to read some of this.
Eric.
Did you? Okay, cool.
When I reread these, and it's a huge shout out to Justin who has read a bunch of these, and I've never spent the time reading the X-Mail at the end of these issues, and I started just skimming them just to kind of be like, hey, what are these about? Mm-hmm. This was amazing. And the two letters they published in the end of this issue were really fantastic. One of them talked about the death of John Lennon, which was like, wow. And the writer comparing it to the emotions he felt with the death of Phoenix and the writer's decisions to end a key character and at the same time losing such a pivotal part of music history.
Oh, I didn't get that. I was looking at these yellow ones initially, but I'm seeing it now. What you're saying, I didn't catch that. But
so one letter had to do with John Lennon. The other letter had to do with Auschwitz, which was like, holy cow, what huge weight these fans wrote in to talk about. So like not everybody wants to spend the time reading these letters at the back of the issues, but every once in a while you find something really amazing. George, there's an issue of is it Avengers or maybe it's X-Men where George R.R. Martin wrote in
Avengers 12
and it got published and hit award by amazing future author. So I think sometimes you get these amazing moments at the end of a comic where, it's not connected to the chronology or any of that stuff, but it takes this issue and sets it in history. Yeah, with the death of somebody like John Lennon, and you're like, wow, that's what was happening in the 80s when this book was being published.
and they respond to the fans, which was awesome in itself. You know,
Yeah.
so it's like you're becoming a part of history because this is something that's tangible, and you can show someone like, look, this is where they responded to my letter, and they put it up in there, you know, in the actual comic book. It's there, you know, so you can buy all those copies of sentimental value to you, no matter what issue it is, you know, a series, a run that you loved, and they actually took the time to post your letter and respond to you.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you all have checked out the Claremont documentary on I think it was on Prime.
I thought it was Amazon. Yeah.
Oh, Amazon, right. So oh my gosh, man, because he actually talked about he wanted to leave her dead, and then they countered him and they ended up bringing her back, and that wasn't his original game plan.
Sure.
You know, Claremont talked about a lot of things, man, and it was awesome just to see how, you know, they all came together as a team, you know, put different things aside, you know, to the side, you know, and then some things they were going at each other within the books, and we had no idea, you know, as far as art compared to the writing, you know, and then at the editors, you know, how they felt about them. And for Claremont to have as long of a run as he had, oh man, it's just amazing, you know, because that forethought and to keep going and to build, it's a universe within inside the universe, you know.
Yeah,
like,
well,
and go ahead.
And the Auschwitz article or a letter had to do with Wolverine's attitude that like violence needs to be met with violence, and and the concept that Claremont was presenting was that pacifism has a place. And it was a wonderful debate between this letter writer and Claremont on the value of pacifism, or is Wolverine right? Which again was the whole point of this episode and this issue. Is Wolverine right that sometimes violence needs to be met with violence?
Live by the sword, die by the sword.
What's up, Kevin?
And this is certainly a philosophical debate that's much bigger than an issue of X-Men. But to have a writer write in a little letter saying, I agree with Wolverine and violence needs to be met with violence, and have Claremont say, I believe pacifism has a place, and let me explain pacifism. Nobody's wrong in this discussion, but what a wonderful world view happening in the comment section of an X-Men issue
at the back end.
Holy cow.
It almost goes back to what you were saying, like, is Wolverine naked or does he have clothes on? You know, it's like
a back and forth, no wrong answer.
They're both right.
Eric, you're perfect, man. That's amazing.
So good. But one more thing with these, when you take time to actually read the letters that they're writing in to you know, X-Mail, the web pages, you know, Thor. And I started reading the Donny Cates and Stegman stuff where people are writing in and they're responding to the fans. And I was able to pull out questions that I may want to pose to like a writer or artist when I'm interviewing them. That's you know, it's a lot of things in there. So, you know, definitely give it a chance if you like to read, you know. So there's a lot of things you can find.
Especially when, again, these are older issues and you can place it better in history with that context. And I know my friend TJ says he used to write letters all the time to Marvel, and he said 2 of his were published. And somehow as an adult, he cannot remember what issues of which comics his issues were published in. Wow. And I'm like, dude, that's when I stop. I get out the app and I go through every issue of Fantastic Four, reading every letter to find the one that's labeled TJ.
Find your letter.
Because he's like, I know I own the issue probably at this point, but I don't remember which one it was. But that was a cool thing about that time in history for sure.
They used to let people draw in like characters and stuff too back in the day, right? Where you could create your own characters and costumes and stuff.
I think they had games and stuff like that.
That's where the black suit Spider-Man came from.
Right.
Yep. The first appearance was in the back. It was like in a supplemental Marvel Age whatever issue, and then they used it and they paid the guy whatever it was, something stupid like $100, and then they got it.
I like Magic Lasso here. His alert here. This is not a test. Magic Lasso will be on this show in 3 more episodes. Thank you, Ryan, for that.
Can't happen soon enough.
And Geek Driven. Yeah, you're right. A civil debate. That's a rare sighting these days. Yeah, unfortunately.
And of course, happened in an X-Men.
One thing to note too, Eric, when you're talking about like these, you're getting submitted, and John, you said TJ used to send in. I think I've shared this with you guys before, but I've talked about this before on the channel. But I actually, more recently, a year ago, submitted a tweet. I tweeted at Aftershock, and I got published.
Hey, I remember you saying that.
Maniac of New York, like issue 3, I think it is.
And they actually have like all the variants for that.
They reused it. Well, they actually reused it again in 4, and I think they reused it again in 5 because they were just trying to show, these things. So they reached. I'm actually in a couple other ones.
You better have all the variants, all the covers.
Listen to you guys.
All the white pages.
I'm going to be doing a CGC signing if anybody's interested.
I need to get a copy of this book. I know this. I know him. I know.
Put him in the notes. Yeah, I'll have a Sharpie ready for you guys. Anything you want me to sign here? That's right. That's hysterical. Awesome. All right, so to wrap this up here, and great points. I'm glad that you guys brought this up. I'm gonna have to go back and read those letters because I just read these letters. There are these notes that Chris Claremont put in the back. Yeah. So when you first showed me this, John, I'm like, oh, John's really into these awards. Okay, like, huh? Right. Like, I'll have to see what John's like so interested in. I want to hear more about what he said. But because the way you said it was like. You were like, it's so like it seemed to be very groundbreaking in a way. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And I like read it. I'm like, all right, like we'll see what John has to say about these awards here.
Whatever, man. You just,
whatever.
That's so funny.
Don't freak out on me, man. Awesome. All right, so let's get into the money here before we wrap things up. Again, if you're in the chat right now, don't go away. We do have our questions here. So here's some not too many key elements, at least by my standards of me looking it up on Key Collector, but classic Doom cover here. Dave Cockrum. I did get some other information I didn't add in here, but I had brought up to you guys about the misspellings and some of the name references being changed around. So some people had kind of pointed that out as well. Yep. But otherwise,
first time that Doom and the X-Men meet. So we learned from
chat. Yeah, our man Chat. It's a great point there. Yeah. So there is a 9.9 that's out there. I'm sorry. There's 5 consensus. Chat. Right. That's it. Should be, Chat, man, you got to get on this, man.
He's one of those two, right?
There is no 30-day average, but general fair market value was 1550, and then we get into the 9/8. There's just about 400 on the consensus for that. A fair market value of 170, but a 30-day average of 335. So this is doubled within the past 30 days. Obviously, probably with the Doom talk and things like that. So interesting stuff there. Otherwise, there are less 9.6s out there. 228. Those fair market value are 80 and 30-day average of 128. Again, anybody wondering, these are Go Collect numbers that I pull these from. So pretty reasonable, though. It's not a key in any sense in that sense, but definitely an iconic cover for sure. And it was fun. It was an enjoyable run, and like you both said, like this kicks off these next 2. So I'm looking forward to more of that. And again, for those watching, whether you're here now or in the replay, remember that we'll be on John's channel next time to break down 146. So all right, I think that's everything there. Any final thoughts on this before we get into these questions, gentlemen? Take this
9.9. Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind that. Wouldn't mind a 9.9 in this.
I mean, I guess it's not an entire black cover, but still,
it's got to be tough. It's got to be tough to find like that. I agree. Then otherwise let's get into some of these questions here before we kind of wrap some things up. I wanted to show this one more time in case anybody was wondering, but this is one of the things that you could win during our raffles.
Look at that.
Yeah. So again, shout out to Nicholas Lane 77 over on Instagram. He had put this together representing the Omni X-Men.
Is that you and John on those?
Yes,
on the side?
that's us. Yeah,
I knew it. I
knew it.
you got the baby face, and
Justin's not bald enough
right there.
Yeah, there's going. We're gonna have to have an exclusive B cover of this, or a virgin variant where Wolverine does not have any clothes on. So
we need to have next year.
We'll work with
one with you and I on it.
Yeah. We'll have them throw that together.
Hey, that's awesome, man.
So that's one of the things you can get your name on a raffle ticket for. And then, like I said, John has a really cool mystery box that he will gear towards what your interests are, as well as X-Men stuff as well. And then we have
somebody's got to win this other than Magic Lasso because he's starting to brag about this at this point, and we got to shut that guy down.
Right.
I know I got to get back in the mix, man.
Rajan said, "I thought this was a Lego stream. My bad. Yeah, Rajan. That's next week. That's next week. Yeah, I got. I was gonna show this on stream here. Eric, check that out. Got my girl Storm.
Oh,
there
you go. Wow.
Right? How dope is that?
I got Rocket. All I got is Rocket and Groot.
Rocket and Groot.
You know what? I got my Wolverine Legos in the other room. Right?
Oh, nice. So yes. And we got Perry in the house as well. Station Perry, good to see you, man. All right. So first question. I guess John, I'll kick this off, right? I'll have the first one. So again, we're looking for 2 correct answers and then a funny answer that we're going to let Eric choose which he thinks is the funniest answer. So definitely let's see some creativity for that as well. My first question is going to be, what did Nightcrawler and Wolverine do that made Kitty Pryde run away from the danger room, made her run outside the mansion out into the freezing cold, actually, from last issue? What did Nightcrawler and Wolverine do that made Kitty Pryde run away from the team to get her own space?
Some hilarious answers coming out of this. So this has to do with issue 144 and the show that we did last time on my channel. So yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah. And who was it? Not Albert. Or do we have Albert last time? Or I'm mixing it up. 140.
Nope, it was not Albert.
That was
my phone. Where is it?
Oh, Fable.
Fable. There you go.
Right. Station Fable. Let's see. Starting to get some answers in here now.
Fable. And next week we got J.R. Rogueslaw.
Oh, nice. From Team Nerd Herd. All right.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yes, so I see the correct answers here. Like I said, looking for kind of some variations of it, so I'm going to let these pass. I do see Chet spelled everything correctly, so we'll give that to him as well. So there is no period at the end, but I mean, I don't know. Made fun of her. Yes, that is accurate. They were teasing her.
I see the second correct answer, right?
I have, Magic Lasso is the second. Teased her for damaging or all the damage that she caused. That's correct.
And as I predicted, comedy answers. Perry right there, right above that, ready to go. They explain.
There's a couple good ones coming in.
Wolverine wearing.
So we got that one. We got JD. They were watching the Super Bowl. Yeah, I like that as well.
I mean, that would probably make me run and scream.
Yeah, John.
That would be John.
It was the wedgie, John Stout says.
Yeah, that does it every time. Magoo Fitzfarter. That's a fan of this show. He went deep dive on that one.
Yeah. There's the period. Good job, Chet. Well done.
Sent separately.
So I'm gonna give it to Perry, man. He was quick.
That's Perry's first ever
raffle entry. All right, look at that. Very nice, Perry. Very nice,
Mr. Perry. Thank you for coming by, my man.
All it takes is one, man. All it takes is one.
All right.
So
John. On the same note, as far as them teasing her, what did Logan say that Kitty Pryde could do to pay Xavier back for all the damage to the mansion? A lot of room for comedy there. So yeah, what did Logan say Kitty could do to repay Xavier for the damage to the mansion? Because that mansion was messed up.
Yeah, I like that they're continuing that.
Yeah,
the danger room was still destroyed.
That's right. I like that storyline.
The new team going to the arcades, mansion could not train.
No.
I mean, technically, those two answers are correct.
Yeah.
Again, Chet and Lasso.
John. We got John is speechless right now.
Lemonade stand.
Hopefully, we get John back here in a second. It'd be great if he wasn't frozen. He was really just thinking or something. I'm gonna try to pull that one, see if that works. So I think we're gonna give it to Chat here, assuming we hear the rest of John's thoughts here. But Chat, with her allowance, Magic Lasso, deduct damages from her allowance. That is accurate.
And then Jay Hood with the lemonade stand.
Set up a lemonade stand outside the Baxter building. Yeah, I mean that's whatever works. I mean that definitely. Oh, there he goes there. Let's see, Professor X is here. Chat with the period. All right. To pay it off in years. Yeah. There he is. He's back. There you go, John.
Don't have daughters. Is what I'm
Hold on. Let me write that down.
Not enough internet. There's
already
not enough internet for daughters and dads. So yeah, the 5 centuries worth of her allowance, Chet and Magic Lasso, correct? But did we pick a comedy answer while I was gone?
Yeah, Jay Hood.
Jay Hood.
He said, "Set up a lemonade stand outside the Baxter building."
That's solid. That's solid. Jamie, thank you.
It's got to be a busy area, you know. A lot
of cross traffic in front of the mansion.
Exactly. All right. So my next question is going to be. Let me put this up here. What does all right. So we're calling her Lee, the Scott's
new girl.
Scott's new lady.
Yeah. What does he do to Lee when she runs? What does Despair, the villain? What does Despair do to Lee when she runs up the stairs to hug her dad? She runs up the stairs to hug her dad.
A beautiful dad-daughter moment.
Yes.
Ruined by despair.
Very much so. What did Despair do when Lee or Al runs up the stairs to give her dad a hug there? Thought this was pretty evil of him to kind of plan this out, you know, out of all things he was planning to do. Yep. All right, so we get the answer here.
Wow.
Yep.
I see 1. I don't know that I see 2 yet because
you're right.
More accurate than the other.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know how accurate the judge is on this one, but 1 really correct. 1 not so much.
All right. That one I think.
I still just see the 1, but that's just me. I don't know. I don't know the judge. It's the East German judge here. What he's going to say. I feel like one person is correct and the other person.
So who do you think is correct here?
Not the person who is normally correct.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to the both of them here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will say Ryan. This is baloney, and this is where you're going to the judge's stance. He does not knock her down the stairs. She does not get knocked down the stairs.
No, but I was going more with this. Okay,
that's correct.
That was more of that. Yeah.
I'll accept that.
But you're right. Yeah, that was questionable. And then same with Smacks. You know, those are.
I think both of Chet's are better
than Ryan's.
Both of Ryan's.
So let's take Ryan's away. We'll get both the Chet. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, I'll give it to you.
There you go.
I was about to ask for someone's giant size X-Men. No, you were not. You're not getting it. He stuck his foot out.
Yeah, that's the comedy one right there.
There you go.
Come on, let's get what happens. You know, what does he do?
There's got to be some good comedy on this one. Some other.
What does Despair do when she runs up to greet her dad?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Despair is one of the Fear Lords, huh?
I don't know that. I don't know that group.
So that's like Nightmare.
Okay.
And then
okay.
What was the monster from Shang-Chi?
I don't know.
The Dweller in Darkness.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that's like a group. The Fear Lords.
I didn't know that. I've never heard of this.
It's like a rock band.
That's a solid band name right there. The Fear Lords. Chicago, we are the Fear Lords.
So give it up for Man Thing and the Fear Lords.
Ooh, the Fear Lords and their Man Thing. Drop kicks her, took her to a Diana Ross concert. We got two other options.
Oh, all right. Offers to buy a house since her dad abandoned it. Yeah, I mean
kind of. All right, what do you like there, Eric?
Let's see. You know, I try not to give it to these guys because they always. I know. I'm trying to pick somebody new, dude.
Gotta get some extra names in there.
Yeah, just spread the real. All right, I'm gonna give it a Raging Cajun since he.
All right, there you go. There you go.
You know, I gotta help my chances when I'm not in the audience too. So.
That I'm saying there is a strategy. I wasn't gonna say anything. There is a strategy. I don't know that I see Raging Cajun on here.
I was just gonna say I don't think we have Raging. If we did, it maybe one or two. So this is good mix.
JD,
good mix there. Yeah.
So if he wins that mystery box, he has to give me a book.
How do we? There you go. Yeah, don't forget this night there, Raging.
Right.
Yeah,
you're the big winner. You know what's up. By the way, we need to get Raging on this show. So JD, man, I'll have to reach out. We would love to have you on here at some point. I know you're a big Mutant fan, so
yeah,
you'd fit in just fine here.
A Gambit fan, man.
Gambit, yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah.
There you go. Help your chances. Yeah.
Do I have him on here? No, I don't have you on. Oh, no, JD, I don't have you on here, man.
All right. Yeah, we got to make it happen. Yeah.
I'm just going to put you on King Size Annual 5 or something.
Just throw him on some. Yeah.
Be ready for the call.
Yeah.
My last question is about the mansion being in disarray. What does Logan do to fix the mansion? What is Logan's way of helping out to solve problems at the mansion?
This is
obviously I'm using my 2 questions to take some shots at Logan this week. But
clean up.
He's my guy. He's right there.
Yeah.
You know what? That's one issue I don't have yet. That yellow.
Same.
Yeah.
I only have this book.
You won it, right? Or is that?
See, Justin wins raffles.
Yeah.
I win
giveaways. So I enter into giveaways, and this was from Southern Comic Geek Jason.
Oh, that's right. I remember when he had that.
I won this giveaway.
I do both. I do raffles and giveaways.
He does both.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a great win there, John.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
There you go. Okay, so what does he do? Ooh, tricky. I mean, I
don't know.
I don't know either.
Ask the question one more time, just for
what
clarity.
does Wolverine or Logan do to help with the repairs at the mansion?
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. It's pretty clear. There's some really good opportunities for comedy here too. Comedy. Just saying.
All right, so Justin, who do you think has the first correct answer? You want to click on somebody?
Yeah. So the first one I think is the closest here.
Okay, that's what I picked.
Is Chet. Yeah.
All right. So I gave first answer correct, Chet. Second answer.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Lasso.
There you go. There you go.
I was gonna say lasso with tears up walls, so I'm willing to say.
Yeah. It's not quite the walls, guys.
He just sort of digs
the garbage and the shrapnel.
Yeah, he just sort of digs in. Like I don't even know. It's like it's done in silhouette, so I don't even know what he's tearing up. It's just something. It's just not the. I know it's not the floor.
Right.
It's in front of him.
Yeah,
that was the only thing. But if you can come up with one funny thing that he might do to fix the mansion, we'll throw you a point there because you don't have another question, right? You're all done.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's it.
All right.
Well, in the meantime, anything coming up for you, Eric, as we're waiting for any comedy answers, anything that you got coming up that you want to spread the love with?
I'm actually working on a video dealing with tiger related characters.
Oh, okay, cool.
So my first video back was Lunar New Year, so Year of the Tiger. And so I did that last Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on one that I was trying to drop today, but I couldn't, not be here,
Right.
So but I'm working on a recording where I'm dealing with the tiger related characters, whether Marvel, DC, because it's a lot of them that people aren't familiar with, but it's a lot of them that are actually connected to characters that are already on the movies and the TV shows. So it might be something worth looking into.
Nice. Very cool. And again, put your information in the description below. So anybody here now or watching the replay, you're more than welcome to make sure you are subbed up over to Eric. And then, and make sure you're subbed up to John, as I mentioned before, for next episode. We'll be back next Tuesday, 9:00 Eastern, over on his channel. See if we get a couple more answers in here. See if we get any other extra funnies here. He puts pictures of himself on the wall. I mean, yeah, that's pretty accurate there, Ragin.
That's fair.
Because we know how he likes to look at his pictures on the bed.
Yeah, big time.
JD went from none to two.
Yeah.
That's all it takes, folks. Just show up one time, make some jokes, and you could win some pretty awesome things.
Yep, that's right. John, anything for you coming up that you want to? I know you got a mess of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday was Comic Gory, so if you missed it, we were talking indie comics. Kyle was hilarious. If you don't know, Promiscuous Time Traveler. Not only does he love indie comics, but the guy just he's hilarious. And what he did, if you don't know Comic Gories, you have 30 seconds to find a cover. You dig in your short box, long box, whatever. He decided before the show, he pulled out 8 or 10 comics, and he's like, I'm just going to play with these all night. I'm going to pretend like I'm looking for comics, but he never actually looked for a comic the entire night. He had costumes and headlamps and all these things, and he was running around like a knucklehead. But he just basically went over to where his 10 books were and pulled one of the pre-selected books, and he tried to sell it as fitting the category. It's hilarious. If you watch it knowing what he's doing, the shenanigans are on another level. But we also had D-Comic Queen Nat. We had I Got Issues, my buddy Chris wearing a panda helmet.
I saw that. I'm like,
entire night. He wore a panda hat, mask the entire night.
He used to wear that all the time.
He used to. That's how he was worried about putting his face on
Instagram
and YouTube. So he wore it. And then we had Hialeah Comic Bro, an all-time veteran of comic boys. It was hilarious and a lot the
I will never forget the Red Hulk. That Red Hulk scene that he did
when he did the shirt, and it's a classic.
The best.
So good. Then Thursday night, it's possible I'm going to join JP Budget Collecting and Tacoma Comics talking about volumes 2 and 3 of Die, one of my all-time favorite indies, and discuss that on his indie show. So I could be on JP Budget Collecting. I know that he's looking for a guest. I just don't know if I'm going to have a chance to reread all that before. It's a lot of reading. So I'm hoping to do that. I also sent him an epic X-Men AOK. He's not going to watch the show. He's not been in the chat, so he won't know. But he's going to unbox it in the coming weekend. I'm very excited about that. And I've got an edited video I'm putting together for that about the journey of this AOK. A lot of fun. And then the coming weekend, some shenanigans across the YouTubes. I'm going to be on Rage and Cajuns on Sunday.
Nice.
Part of his Meet the Community. So I'm going to be talking with him on Sunday evening.
All right.
Cool. Very cool. Good stuff. Definitely check that out. And I'm dropping a bunch of videos throughout the week. Some are Lego, some are comics. So we'll see. Other than that,
you got statues, you got Legos, you got comics. Like you're split a lot across a lot of communities. Right? Are you going to get into Funko Pops next? Is that what's going to be?
I got a couple of there. Yeah, I got a couple of there. I'll go back to original art at some point.
I'm concerned about you.
Yeah, please be. Other than that, I was gonna say I have my good friend Jimmy from Small Town Collectibles coming up for my Comic Collector Origins this Saturday. So 2:00 Eastern there. That should be a good time as well. And other than that, I know this past Saturday, me, John, Victoria, and the girls were going to be doing Ultimate Spider-Man. That got moved back, so we're working out a new time and date for that. So anybody that was looking forward to that, we'll definitely have something up again in the next couple of weeks here. So other than that, we'll wrap things up. So again, everybody, thanks for hanging out with us here. We'll be back on John's channel next week for 146, the continuation of this Doom story arc, and we'll catch you guys next time. So peace.